them. We talked about all of that. As we were leaving, we were like, oh, are these counter protesters? Are these people on our side? And I think they are. Let's go talk and see what kind of signs people have. We're on your... Okay. Yeah.
I know you.
I work with MeidasTouch.
Adam Mockler.
Yeah.
I know you.
We wanted to come... We're live right now. We wanted to come chat with some of you guys and say what's up. What brought you out here today?
People.
The Trump rally over there?
Yeah, you're here to protest.
Are you down to talk to us about the first 100 days?
I don't really want to be on.
You're
anything,
good. You're good then. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you showed up. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. We'll talk to you in 1 minute. Get it.
I'm on edge. My bad.
I walked up and they were like, "Watch out for these guys." They thought we were provocateurs. We work for a company named Signs. We're pro-democracy. I don't have my phone. Is the audio fine, guys? Let me know in chat. So what are your guys' names?
Lauren.
Liz.
And we're currently live, so don't say anything personal, but what brought you out here after the first 100 days of the Trump admin?
Well, we've been out several times already.
Yeah.
It's just one outrage after another, day after day after day.
Were you there for the hands-off protests?
Yeah. And we were down at the Hart Plaza for the one for Canada.
So we were just talking to all the Trump supporters. We debated them a bit, and they all said, we were like, what do you grade Trump's presidency? They all said A+. And if they didn't say A+, they said A++. We were like, come on. And then I asked them, what do you like about it? They said immigration, first and foremost, that's obvious. But then they said they love the tariffs. They say they can't wait until the tariffs start to take effect. It's almost
Cult leader stuff, because anybody with sense knows better than what he's talking about, right? Including a lot of people that voted for him know that. We both took economics, the same economics course at the same college, as a matter of fact. So it was a basic part of the
What with
curriculum.
immigration? I mean, that's all. There's something called due process, and
Yeah, we're both lawyers too,
Yeah.
and the due process thing is really, really important to us. If he can legally deport people and they're here illegally and all that, but you got to go through the procedure. Without that, we're lost.
I always say, if you're here not legally and you commit crimes, it's okay to deport someone like that. But of course, once you create a new class of people with no due process, you can put anybody in that class endlessly. I could be in that class for no reason, or you. And that's what the Trump admin's doing, which is...
He pointed out in one of his columns, I thought was interesting, that slavery itself constituted a break on everybody else's freedom. That all kinds of people were afraid to really step out too much because there was a class of people that had no rights.
And the Trump admin's playing this really scary game of heads I win, tails you lose, where they strip away the habeas petition or the due process before someone's deported, but then after they're deported, they say we don't have the jurisdiction to bring you back. So you can't file for a habeas petition before.
The United States quakes in fear at the mighty nation of El Salvador.
We can tariff every country. We can tariff every country, but we can't tariff Bukele.
Yeah. So it's just ridiculous. But yeah, probably the due process and just the overall cruelty and disdain. Like, she also is a retired federal worker.
Yeah.
And the way they're being treated and the way they're being terrorized intentionally. In Project 2020, it says he wants to put the federal workforce in trauma. And of course, that's what they've executed.
that's what we've done. And I worked for the federal government for 10 years, and I am. On top of that, I'm just a newly applied Social Security recipient, which I haven't seen my first check yet, but that's still, in process, in normal process.
Get on it, Elon. Get on it, Elon. Sorry.
But yeah, exactly. Besides the data that he is vacuuming up out of Social Security, out of the Treasury Department, I really don't think that there is a chance that they are not going to come after Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, and I don't believe, no matter what they say about, oh no, we promise not to touch it. Well, yeah, how many promises have you made and broken already? I mean, it boggles the imagination that people believe that they are somehow protected, that somehow it's not going to affect them. It's like,
well, the
bullshit.
So-called moderate Republican, Mr. Bacon, said today he's going to put a limit on those cuts at $500 billion.
It's like the one.
Thanks, dude.
It's like the one that's always like, I'm concerned. Is it Susan Collins? She's always like, I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned.
Yes.
And the thing is, when we were talking to a lot of Trump supporters over there, they're now eating the fact that they'll have to take some pain. So I kept asking them, hey, he said he'll lower prices on day one. Does it bother you that now the argument is maybe 6 months out from now? They're all like, I will lay down and take the pain if it means Daddy Trump gets to be the president. It's insane to me.
So they say.
It's cultish.
Yeah.
It's absolutely cultish. I mean, we might as well be in 1939
And
Germany.
honestly, shame on the Democrats for letting this situation develop with international trade and never doing anything for the people that were hurt by it in America. They created this opening for him, and I have friends who were forced into retirement by automakers and stuff, and they feel real strongly they want everything reshored, and they're more or less in favor of the tariffs because of it.
I have the same opinion on immigration. I think Democrats were kind of weak on it for a while, and that left an opening or a vacuum for the Republicans, and that allows this like radical policy to take over, where maybe Obama was actually strong on immigration, and he wasn't like a fascist about it.
It's also easy to argue in the negative. I was a debater back in high school, and I always argued the negative side of the proposition. It's much more fun. It's much easier to take shots at somebody's plan than to have a plan.
Yeah.
That's much harder.
I mean, hell.
To do something is much harder than doing nothing.
Talk about parties. I mean, even George W. Bush was better on immigration.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some compassion and empathy. I mean, not too much between the ears, but plenty of empathy, plenty of compassion, plenty of due process. He had a plan.
There was a clip of Bush from when he was president, and he said the 3 isms that you don't want are isolationism, protectionism, and the last one was isolation and protectionism. What was the last one?
Check this out. We got some cops here or somebody here.
Oh, we got a fight breaking out or something. Oh, the cops are just saying we don't want anyone hurt, I think. But
Seems friendly enough.
yeah. The odd part is most of the Trump supporters, when you talk to them face to face, are very, very friendly, but clearly brainwashed. It'll be like my aunt or uncle who just happened to be sucked up in a Facebook algorithm, like a sweet person.
They mostly want to get past this, but they just, are coming at it from a different place.
I have 2 good friends. We have 2 good friends who are completely brainwashed.
Isolationism, protectionism, and hyper-nationalism were the 3 things George W. Bush said you probably don't want to push towards. And what 3 things are Trump push? It's insane. It's insane.
Well, and, nationalism, I told my right-wing friend this a few years ago. Nationalism always leads to war. That's always where it goes. That's how it is.
Oh, and by the way, we're not really totally new to this in the sense that we were at the Women's March in 2017 in D.C.
The first one? The very first one?
First one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
After he was elected, she said, I want to go. I'm like, okay. And so we went.
So you guys are OGs. See, we do women's marches and they do January 6th, so it's wild. Well, thanks for chatting with us. I really appreciate it.
Good work.
We're currently live, so is there anywhere you want to shout out? Do you have like a website or an Instagram, anything, or are you good?
No, we're good.
Any cause? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being out here. Let's do it. Thanks for being our producer on set. I appreciate that. You down to chat, man?
Yeah.
We're live.
By the way, first of all, huge fan.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I'm a subscriber. I love your show.
I appreciate that more than you know, man. We are currently live, so don't say anything personal.
Okay.
But let's chat a little bit. I want to start off by saying we were just debating the Trump supporters, and we asked all of them what they grade Trump's administration. They all said A+, and if they didn't say that, they said A++. So what do you say? What's your grade?
A solid F.
Solid F. Not an F minus?
No, I mean he's done some things that I like he declassified the JFK files. He wants to get rid of the penny. Cool. Those are things that I've agreed with for a long time. Other than that, he's got like a 2% in my class.
What worries you the most? So when I look at some issues, I've been paying a lot of attention to Russia and Ukraine because I know people over there. I've just been paying a lot of attention to the lack of care from Trump. What is it for you? Is it due process or tariffs? What is?
It's a whole lot of things.
Everything.
So I'm a history major.
Oh, yeah.
I'm working on my master's degree in secondary education for American history. So there's a lot of things. The tariffs are one. When you look at the last time we had large sweeping tariffs and an isolationist policy, we had the Great Depression and we got sucked into World War II.
Yeah.
The time before that, it was a huge recession and we got sucked into World War I. The due process thing, I have a lot of friends and family that are immigrants. I'm the child of an immigrant. My dad is from Canada. So the lack of due process for immigrants is a big thing for me. His rhetoric against Canada is huge for me.
Oh, yeah.
The Canadians are our fucking brothers and sisters. They're our allies. They're our closest allies. The Canadians have been nothing but great partners to us.
After 9/11, they came and helped us.
Exactly. I mean, once World War I hit, the Canadians became one of America's greatest allies. And why would we want to fuck that up?
Trump is so transactional. He doesn't care about alliances. He cares about what he can get. I was talking to someone over there, and they were like, no one's ever tried tariffs like this. They asked me, when's the last time someone's had such a bold tariff plan? And I said, well, the Smoot-Hawley Act around the Great Depression.
Yep, exactly.
And he was like, oh, but we were already in a depression. I was like, no. It put us further into a depression. So no matter what you say, they have like a weird way of post-hoc rationalizing the tariffs, which is wild. When it comes to the due process, you're a historian, so are there a lot of parallels? Sometimes when people make the Hitler comparison, I'm like, he doesn't actually want to genocide Jewish people, but other than that, he finds a scapegoat, he makes a group a scapegoat, he tries to erode all of our institutions and our civil services and demonize one group and try to deport them. There are a lot of parallels to be made.
There are, especially since even though Trump doesn't want to genocide Jewish people, even though I'm pretty sure given the chance he would. Other fascist movements didn't genocide Jewish people.
Yeah.
The Italians didn't genocide Jewish people. The Spanish didn't genocide Jewish people. They were still extremely fucking fascist.
I think the comparison right now is Viktor Orban from Hungary. Trump seems to be trying to copy the Viktor Orban model like to a T, which is delegitimizing the media, trying to make them bend their behavior to fit you. So for example, you see him attacking law firms and universities, and he just attacked Amazon this morning. I feel like it's all an attempt to get them to like curtail how they act and create this chilling effect, right? And that's fascism, straight up.
Correct. Yeah, that's full on agree. I mean, if you look at what Hitler did, Hitler attacked lawyers, judges, anyone that dissented against him. And Mussolini did the same thing, and so did the guy in Spain. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm tired.
I flew in this morning. I'm so tired. So what's your final message to the audience? A lot of people are feeling a little bit down, or it's been a grim past few months. What's your message regarding democracy and the resilience of it?
Don't stop resisting. Fascism wins when we stop resisting.
Never obey in advance.
Right. Surrender only under protest.
Yep. A lot of people always say in my comment section, there's no point in voting, the elections are over, and I say, no, there is a point in voting. Don't obey in advance. Do not give it up in advance. We still have elections. We just won the Supreme Court, the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, so it's fine. There's still elections, and thank you for talking to us, sir.
Thank you.
Anything you want to promote before you go?
Just fuck Trump.
That's fair, that's fair. Thank you, sir.
Hey, so for anybody that's just joining the stream, where we're at,
Yeah.
we're going to go until your phone dies, but we're at 6.
For anybody that is just joining the stream, we are currently at the Trump rally in Warren, Michigan. But we're not talking to the Trump supporters. We were leaving, and now we're talking to the counter-protesters. We're talking to the people who are on the other side, pushing back against Trump. Let's go. We've gotten recognized a few times. Also, my phone's at 5%, so if the stream goes black, we're okay. We didn't get hurt. You done the chat?
Oh, of course.
Sweet. What's your name?
Steven.
And you're okay with being on camera, Steven?
Absolutely.
So we're currently live. Don't give anything personal.
Yep.
We were just talking to them, the Trump supporters way over there, and we were like, what do you grade the Trump admin? And they were all saying A+, A++. It was wild. So what's your grade?
F.
F?
I think it's obvious, right?
Trump would get expelled if he was in my fucking school. Let me tell
He
you.
should be expelled.
Yeah. So what has worried you the most over the past 100 days? Is it due process, tariffs? What is really, give me a summary of how you feel.
Like I know that we're not seeing an immediate effect from the tariffs right now, so honestly my main concern is due process and our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
I mean, in my personal opinion, this is not about Republican versus Democrat anymore. This is about Donald Trump versus the United States of America. Mm-hmm. And if nobody's afforded due process, then we're all SOL.
I always say once you create a new class of people with zero due process, then you can put anyone in that new bucket, and they have no way to defend themselves. But to build off of what you're saying, the tariffs haven't taken effect yet, but over the next 30 days, there are reports that freights and the supply chains will completely freeze and screw us all over. So I definitely agree that that's scary as well. Yeah. What have you thought about Signalgate so far?
I think it's a mess. I mean, you honestly should not have people in the administration using just regular apps for their communication. Everything needs to be properly vetted and secure. It's our national security. It's not a joke. It's not a game. And now that there have been 2 leaks, it's ridiculous. And the fact that Trump is still backing him up after both of these instances is like, what's wrong with you, man?
I was just debating this Trump supporter, and he was like, no one actually saw anything in the group chat. And I was like, other than his sister, his mom, his brother, Jeffrey Goldberg, and like, we were 1 degree away from the Houthis understanding the flight path of our missiles. That is incredibly scary. And the guy couldn't understand why it was scary for me. But I damn well know if Biden would have done that, it would have been the end of the fucking world, right?
Absolutely, and that's it goes back to what I said earlier. It's not about right versus left anymore. This is an issue for all of us. It doesn't matter if it's some immigrants today. He said the homegrowns are next.
Yeah.
So how do you define homegrowns when you create a whole new subset of people who don't have rights?
You want to know something I did? I bought this domain, deportderek.com, when he did that homegrown thing, and I was going to start a petition to deport Derek Chauvin, and it was going to be like, Chauvin is a homegrown criminal, get him out. And I posted the petition, and I got a really mad email. It's like, Adam, this isn't funny, this isn't cool for you to do. So I deleted it, and I was like,
no,
but
I would have signed it.
You get the idea, right?
Yeah,
You get the idea.
absolutely.
It's like, throw it back in your face. You guys want to talk about minorities and deport brown people. What about a white dude who actually was convicted? Obviously, we shouldn't deport citizens, but
No, we shouldn't be deporting citizens. And regardless, even if they're not a citizen, everybody is afforded due process. It's part of who we are as Americans. Yep. We all came here as immigrants, so we can't even talk about saying it's our country.
Yep.
And the thing is, like, look at the Statue of Liberty. It says, "Bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses." That's the point of this land.
Yeah.
We came here to escape tyranny. Now we have somebody that's posting pictures of himself in a crown saying, "Long live the king," and people aren't upset about that.
dude, I bet if you showed Trump supporters what the Statue of Liberty said, they'd call it woke. Like, we should go over there and show them the Statue of Liberty line. They'd be like, that's a little bit too woke.
I know. It's fake news.
Yeah, literally. It doesn't actually. It says kick out all minorities. It says be mean to thy neighbor and scam people with Trump coin. That's what the Statue of Liberty
Exactly, right?
Yeah. Thank you for chatting with us.
Of course,
I really
I
do
appreciate
appreciate
you.
it. Thanks for being out here.
Still 5%.
6,000 live. Holy shit! What is up, everybody? We decided to go live at this. There's nothing to celebrate. Signalgate has happened not once, but twice. We've seen all of our allies kind of move away from us. We have, right now, the Russia-Ukraine war is falling through, or the peace deal is falling through. Let's keep walking now. Let's keep walking. So we've got a bunch of clips of me debating Trump supporters coming out soon, but we're like, why don't we put some more on the pro-democracy side of the movement? So let's continue to go. Are you down to chat with us? We run a pro-democracy channel. Right now we're live streaming in front of a few thousand people. We just went to go debate the Trump supporters, actually.
How'd it go?
And we asked all of them, how do you grade the Trump presidency? They all said A+. No one said less than an A+. So it's a little bit scary. How would you grade it?
I would say F. I mean, it's horrible. It's scary. Like, everyone I know is afraid. I have immigrant friends. They're cutting DEI policies, like, across colleges, across businesses, women's rights. Like, everything that a good person would stand for is what Trump is against.
How have you felt about the Trump admin trying to place pressure on universities to curtail the way they teach things, the way they hire? It's kind of fucked up, right?
It's super fucked up, and it's insane considering, like, this is my college. This is where I go to school. And today is our finals frenzy week. Like, we're supposed to be de-stressing for our finals. And this is what we have to deal with. Like, a fascist regime coming to campus. It's insane.
You want to know what's really odd about it, though? When I go talk to these people, they're like the nicest human beings. And it's like my aunt or my uncle who is just sucked in the wrong algorithm, and they'll be super nice, but then you talk to them about the issues, and a lot of times they're like, any brown people should get the hell out of here. It's like, whoa, you're just a really nice person. I guess it's maybe because I'm white. But I do want to ask, what issue concerns you the most as a young person in America? What's really been on the top of your mind?
I mean, the main thing is that he's lining seats within our government with just his lackeys that have no idea what they're doing. I just saw a meme that was like, everyone in my team is the stupidest person alive. They're not a good person. Like,
That's Trump.
Yes, it's insane. So I'm just worried about, like, where our democracy is going to go. He's selling Trump 2028 hats. Like, what is this?
Are you telling me Pete Hegseth isn't a qualified pick to run a department with 1.2 million fucking people? It's insane.
I would say that. Yeah. Like, what the fucking Elon Musk, dude? I can't even. It's insane. These kids have no training. They're 19 years old. Like, getting my social security number. Like,
And when I talk to the Trump supporters, I try to do it in like an empathetic way. So I'll say, can you understand where I'm coming from when I see the richest man in the world using his money to gain power in the government? And a lot of times, what do you think their response is to that?
I have no idea.
They go, what about George Soros? The Democrats have been doing it for a decade. And then I'm usually like, get the fuck out of here. No, I'm usually like, it's not the same. I'm like, when has George Soros ever been seen walking around next to Biden, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about, you're waving a pride flag. How do you feel about LGBTQ rights under the second Trump admin?
I don't feel good. I mean, specifically trans rights is something that's like, every time I hear someone talk about trans rights and specifically like kids in bathrooms or like, what are they saying about like cats having
Litter boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Like, actually,
Hey, I like my litter box. I will say.
I can't believe that like that America is so blind. Like we can all have different views, but like that shit is insane to me.
If I showed up to that rally in a bunch of medieval armor, I bet I could convince all of them I just traveled back in time. Like I traveled forward in time. Give me 5 minutes, I'll convince all of them. Thank you so much for chatting.
Thank
I
you.
really
Great to
appreciate
meet
it.
you.
Thanks for being out here. Okay, my phone is at 4%, so stay with us. Again, if the screen goes black, we did not get assassinated. We are still okay. Let's walk over here for a second. Are you guys down to chat with us for a second?
What?
Down to chat with us? We run a pro-democracy channel.
Absolutely.
We work with MeidasTouch. We run a pro-democracy channel. Hell yeah. So let me ask you guys, first of all, what are your names?
Janet Pachalski. Suanne.
Don't say anything personal because we are live, but we're all out here at Trump's 100-day celebration rally, even though there's nothing to celebrate, right?
Absolutely nothing.
We were just talking to all the Trump supporters. We actually went and debated them over there.
Did you?
And we asked them, what do you grade him? And they all said A+. Actually, one person said A++. We're like, what the fuck? What do you guys grade him?
Oh, worse than an F minus.
Expel his ass.
As my granddaughter would give him an F minus minus.
Is she a teacher?
She's a 7-year-old.
Okay.
She's smarter than a lot of people.
Interesting. So, what issues do you guys care most about over the past 100 days? What's really been on the top of your mind? Is it due process or tariffs or?
Oh, due process is at the top of it, I think.
And our courts.
Yeah.
You know, and him just destroying the our laws and everything. And it's like, oh, no. And then also just, women's rights and all of the diversity is being just torn apart and these people come to our country expecting to pitch in and be a part of our country, and then what do? We send them to El Salvador.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's not who we are.
It's not.
We've never been this kind of a country. This is what my dad fought for in World War II.
My dad too.
And he would be just utterly disgusted in this.
Your dad's fought for freedom in World War II, you're saying, and this is the opposite of freedom, right?
Absolutely. And he's trashing all of our allies, and he's making buddies with our enemies.
And honestly, this is what we fought against in World War II. We fought against one executive branch being able to put pressure on universities, on courts, on the media.
Did not want this. They had it in mind that they did not want any of this.
You don't think our founders were like Pete Hegseth? Come on.
Oh yeah, totally.
How did we get here? That's what the only
Have
thing
another
that comes
drink.
to my mind when I think
Russian disinformation, I think that's actually a lot of the answer is Russian disinformation, trying to divide our country.
Well, and social media and crazy news sources. That's why I went to independent news sources like MeidasTouch and Contrarian and a bunch of others because, you got to get the truth somewhere.
Yep.
Right?
Thank you guys so much for chatting. And what does the back of your sign say? Can I see it?
100 days of trashing USA.
True. Very true. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for being out here.
Thank you.
3%.
Okay, the phone is now at 3%. How many do we have live?
6,000, and thank you to Alicia Lozano.
Thank you to Alicia. I appreciate that so much. We are currently out here in Warren, Michigan. Again, we were just at the Trump rally, and we decided we're going to stop debating them and come talk to the other side, because this is our side. Do you guys want to chat with us?
I just want to say hi. I'm a big fan.
I appreciate that more than you know. Thank you so much. Thanks for being out here, by the way. So we're going to continue over here. We've met a lot of, the pro-democracy people are generally pretty cool. What a surprise. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. The pro-democracy people have been so fucking awesome. Very welcoming. Are you guys down to chat with us? We work with the Pro-Democracy Network. We're just live streaming, talking. We just debated the Trump supporters, and now we came over here to have more fun, normal conversations. You guys want to chat?
What did they say?
He will.
I'm
So,
curious.
so dude, a lot. So we.
Okay with being on?
Are you okay with being on camera? You got a face mask? Okay. So we would always ask them, what do you grade Trump's presidency so far? And they kept saying A+. Some of them said A++. So then we debate them a little bit on tariffs. Like, what do you like about the tariffs? A lot of them don't seem to fully understand the long-term effects of the tariffs, and they think that in 5 or 6 days everything will be fine. Literally, they think that in a week or so everything will go back to normal. When the supply chains are kind of damaged for good right now. Like the supply chains are fucked for a
The
while.
largest port in the world is empty.
Yes, and apparently, in a few weeks, all of the ships and the freights are going to be frozen, almost in a COVID-style fashion. So that's scary. Then we talked about due process. What have you thought about due process lately?
I think the Constitution, they wiped their ass with it, frankly.
Yeah, it's bad.
There's really no other way to say it. I mean, if there's no rule of law, then anybody can just go to jail on a whim.
Yep. I always say once you create this new bucket of people with no due process, you can put anyone in that new bucket, and there's no way for them to defend themselves, basically, which is insane. And then, yeah. Oh, I was just going to say one more thing. They also are very convinced that Vladimir Putin is our friend. A few of them were saying that Vladimir is actually a good guy, which I find terrifying.
How is it in America that all our enemies have suddenly become our friends and all our friends have suddenly become our enemies?
Russian disinformation is my answer. I think Russian disinformation has broken the brain of many of those people.
Well,
Oh my God, wait, record
who's
that.
working with the Russians
Trump.
and the capitalists?
Yeah.
Everyone with a lot of money.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks to GM and Beth.
Thank you, GM and Beth. So thank you so much. Again, if our live stream cuts off, it's just due to the battery dying. Let's go see over here what the sign says. Please record this woman with the fuck Trump bike. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. This is what democracy looks like, y'all. By the way, this was the smallest Trump rally I've ever been to. Not this, but over there was the smallest Trump rally I've ever been to. Look at this lady. That's so sick. Fuck Trump and fuck you.
Fuck you for voting for him.
Fuck you for voting for him. I like it. She's flying on that thing.
Yeah.
You guys want to chat with us? We're friendly. We work with a pro-democracy outlet. Really quickly, you want to chat with us really quickly?
Okay.
We're on live stream. We work with MeidasTouch. It's a pro-democracy network.
I love yeah.
Sweet, okay.
Every day.
Sweet, okay. So,
It's the number one, right, in the world?
number one in the world, beating Joe Rogan, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, thank
first of all, thank you guys for coming out here.
Yeah.
Secondly, we're live streaming, so don't say anything personal. But what are your first names?
Carol.
Carol,
Destiny.
Destiny.
Denise.
And you guys are cool with being on our camera, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. So we were just talking to the Trump supporters. We debated them for a bit. And a lot of them said that Trump gets an A+ for the first 100 days. What grade do you give Trump?
An F?
An F.
An F.
Would you expel him if you were the principal?
If I was a principal.
Oh, yes.
You would expel him?
Yeah.
Would you have a sit-down talk with his parents to tell him to stop being such an asshole?
I think I'd have to call the police in. They do press criminal charges in high school. I'm just saying.
I think he needs to, well, he probably did not learn basic kindergarten manners because he was an unruly kid. His parents didn't know what to do with him. And I think they just let him do whatever he wanted. And that's how he is as an adult. He does whatever he wants.
He's also like a malignant narcissist, it seems like. Like his narcissism just bleeds through every aspect.
He does have a personality disorder, for sure. He does. I mean, you can't get where he wants.
Even his supporters, I think, would admit that he has some sort of personality disorder. It's insane.
But they like it for some reason.
They like it. So all of them were like justifying the tariffs. One person was like, nobody's ever tried tariffs like this before. He asked me, he was like, has anyone ever tried tariffs like this? I said, well, 100 years ago, there was a Smoot-Hawley Act that kind of nuked the entire economy. So one person has tried it. And yeah, let me ask you, what issues are most important to you all as women in America?
Well, regardless of being a woman or
Yeah.
a man, my biggest issue is the death camps they're setting up in El Salvador.
And CCOT?
Yeah, I'm over that.
What issue is most important to you?
Oh, same thing. I'm worried about due process and that they're able to go in the middle of the night and with plain clothes and take people away. People who don't even know that they're missing because they came here alone. They're working, but people don't know where to find them, don't know what happened to them. I know that's true